Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about the inconsistent results we saw between the dog teams that were involved in the search for Jay. When 19-year-old Jay Slater went missing in Tenerife's treacherous terrain, multiple search teams were deployed, including highly trained dogs from Madrid, yet they found nothing. Then, weeks later, when hope seemed lost, an independent Dutch team, Signi Zoekhonden, arrived. And suddenly, there was a scent, a lead, a discovery. Now this raises a huge question. Why didn't the first dogs find him? Were they searching in the wrong place? Were environmental factors at play? Or, and this is the most unsettling possibility, was Jay's body simply not there when the Spanish dogs searched? Let's break it down. From the moment Jay Slater was reported missing on June 17th, the Spanish Civil Guard took the case seriously. Helicopters flew over the vast, rugged landscape of Masca. Ground teams scoured the area. Local police dogs were deployed early in the search to track any possible signs of Jay. But days passed and nothing was found. So, on June 25th, the authorities took things up a notch. They flew in specialist search dogs from Madrid, dogs that belonged to Spain's highly trained sinological service of the Guardia Civil. Now, these dogs are some of the best in the country. They are trained in various search and rescue techniques, including scent tracking. However, it is unclear whether the specific dogs deployed in Jay's case were trained in cadaver detection. That's a critical detail. If they were primarily live search dogs, trained to find missing individuals rather than human remains, that could explain why they failed to detect anything. But if they were cadaver dogs, then their failure to find Jay's body is much harder to explain. Either way, they didn't find anything, not a single alert, no signs, no indication of a body. And that's where the first red flag comes in. If Jay had died in the area shortly after he disappeared, and if his remains had been sitting there for over a week, then by the time the Madrid dogs arrived, there should have been a scent. A strong one. The fact that they found nothing suggests one of two things. Either the Spanish dogs failed in their search, whether due to training limitations, environmental conditions, or errors in search strategy. Or, far more disturbingly, the body simply wasn't there at the time. And if it wasn't there, then where was it? Weeks passed. By mid-July, the official search was scaled down, and Jay was still missing. His family, desperate for answers, turned to Signi Zoekhonden, a Dutch specialist search team with extensive experience in finding both missing persons and human remains. We explicitly know that Signi's dogs are trained in both live search and rescue operations and cadaver detection. They have worked on high-profile cases worldwide, specializing in locating people in extreme conditions, whether missing, deceased, or even submerged in water. However, contrary to some reports, Signi's dogs did not find Jay's body. By the time they arrived, the Guardia Civil had already discovered Jay's remains in a deep ravine near Masca on July 15th. But here's where things get even stranger. Although the body had been found, Signi's dogs were brought in after the discovery to confirm the location using scent detection. Within hours, they indicated a strong scent in the same area. This raises a crucial question. If the body had been there all along, why did the earlier Spanish dogs fail to detect it? Signi's dogs also immediately picked up Jay's scent, not just in the ravine, but also near the Airbnb where he had last been seen alive. The Spanish search dogs never picked up Jay's scent at the Airbnb. They failed to find anything that could have indicated his direction of travel or provided clues about his movement after leaving. Yet, Signi's dogs detected his scent near the property and tracked it toward the dangerous terrain where he eventually ended up. This suggests that Jay's scent was still traceable weeks later, despite multiple police searches. Which raises more questions. Why didn't the Spanish dogs detect anything in the same area? If Jay had been in that ravine all along, why did two different teams of dogs get two completely different results? Did someone interfere with the search? This leads us to the biggest, most disturbing question of all. If Jay had been in that ravine all along, then the Spanish dogs should have picked up his scent. But they didn't. So could it be that the body wasn't there when the first search took place? Bodies don't just become detectable weeks later. Decomposition starts quickly, especially in the intense Canarian heat, making it easier to detect a body sooner, not harder. If the body was always there, why did two different teams get two completely different results? Did someone place the body there later? And if that's the case, then we're not just dealing with a tragic accident. We're potentially looking at something much more sinister. There's also another critical element, the terrain. Jay's body was found in a ravine that had supposedly already been searched. The location was so difficult that even the Spanish Civil Guard had to use helicopters to retrieve him. Could it be that he was moved there at some point after the initial searches? Was someone deliberately avoiding detection? Could an individual have kept the body elsewhere before finally disposing of it in that ravine? These questions need answers. To be completely fair, there are reasons why one team of dogs might succeed where another failed. Signi's dogs specialize in both live rescue and cadaver searches, meaning they might have been better suited for this specific case than the Madrid dogs. If the Madrid dogs were only trained for live search, they may not have been able to detect Jay's remains. Changes in weather and environment, such as wind patterns, humidity, and decomposition processes, might have made sense more detectable later. Search techniques also play a role. Different teams use different search strategies. If Madrid's search focused on the wrong areas, it could explain why they missed something. But even with these factors considered, the most logical explanation remains the most unsettling one. The body wasn't there when the Spanish dogs searched. Jay Slater's disappearance is still filled with unanswered questions. The biggest one being, how did the Spanish dogs find nothing, but the Signi dogs immediately confirmed the presence of remains? If Jay died where his body was found, why did the Madrid dogs fail to detect him? If his body was placed in the ravine later, then by who? And why? Did someone move him in the weeks between the two searches? And now, with the added revelation that Signi's dogs picked up his scent near the Airbnb while the Spanish dogs didn't, we have even more questions. Was Jay's scent masked or removed somehow before the first dogs searched? Did he move through that area much later than originally thought? Was someone else involved? Because if that's the case, then we are no longer talking about a simple missing persons case. We are talking about potential foul play. This case deserves more scrutiny, more investigation, more answers. Because right now, something doesn't add up. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments below.